work in shots, okay? So we talk about shots. It's exactly like buying a jigsaw puzzle, right? And then you're putting a jigsaw puzzle together one shot at a time. You've got a quota of jigsaw pieces that you've got to make that go together, right? And that's how you get your 1,500 piece jigsaw puzzle made by the deadline, right? I'm gonna talk about a shot from the amazing Spider-Man 1. This is the kind of shot that you might get given if it's your first film you ever worked on, okay? It's not sexy. Right, get ready, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Don't blink, don't blink. There you go, you see that? So that's it. This is what we call, this is a client previs, okay? Back in the old days, this would have been a storyboard panel, okay? It would have just been, we'd have had a storyboard, it'd have been a shot of Spidey, probably with a big arrow moving out and to the left. So this previs for us is fantastic, right? As animators, this answers loads of questions. It's a 50mm lens. We know what the duration of the shot is, how many frames it is, and we know roughly what the action is in this shot. You can't understand how many versions this saves you just getting this far. And the motion is obviously super rudimentary and it's really basic and it looks like a Dire Straits video from 1988 or something, but this is gold to us, right? So while we're doing this, everyone's working in parallel, right? The modeling department are continuing to update this model. The texture department are in there painting all the suit and everything like that. The rigging department are still in there changing how these biceps are going to deform when he moves his arm. You can't work in a linear fashion doing this, as you can imagine. If you were waiting, you're like, well, no, we're waiting for the guy like right up there to finish this thing. It would take you 20 years to make a film. So we are all moving in parallel, and it's really important that you have a pipeline set up. So when the modeling department say, oh, we've got a new model for Spidey, it's great, the client loves it. They can give that to the rigging department. The rigging department can give us a new rig to animate with, okay? But we don't want to start that animation again. We can just simply update stuff on the fly, so you can click a button and now like the texture department say, we got some textures. Like there's no textures yet. We got some textures. We'll click a button, it will update this Spider-Man and now he's gonna have textures, okay? So that's a really important fundamental thing. That's how we work, right? It's really, really important. So animation version 1. So we go off to our animation director review. Again, it's this idea, this iterative workflow. So RC, this is Randy Cook. Randy has just come off the back of the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, and Randy has got 3 Oscars, right? So when Randy tells you to do something, guess what? Whereas this is me, you don't have to listen to me that much, but so, you know, we're just getting these notes, we go through, we get version 2, got a bit of camera shake, things are updating. Version 5, I'm skipping you all the gory details. Here we are, version 5. So the environment's changing a bit, the model's changing. Here we go. So version 5 made it the Snakes and Ladders game, right? That made it all the way to the top. We showed this to the client. This is Mark Webb, he's the director. And he likes it. He says it looks like motion capture. I think that's a good thing. I'm not sure what he's saying. But, and he says, this is quite powerful. And then he says, we're recutting this sequence. We should put these shots on hold for a while. So that's classic, right? You're the animator on this shot. This might be one of your first shots you've ever worked on. You're like, oh my God, they showed it to the director. I'm so nervous. You can barely drink your coffee in the morning. You're like, oh my God, oh my God. And they're like, yeah, they really liked it. Yeah. So, but it's not in the film. You know, like they're recutting that whole thing. And you're like woo-hoo. So 7 weeks later, we get a new cut. Luckily, this shot did survive, loads of it didn't, it looked very different. So we're seeing all these cars, we're seeing the street. So this shot just basically tripled in price because, you know, we got like hot dog sellers and, you know, this is gonna be, in this scene it's like panic in the streets and there's like hundreds of little digital double dudes gonna be running down there. So this is now a very different shot. So there's some producers sitting in a room sweating, you know, with checkbooks trying to like work out how this is gonna happen. So where are we? Version 10. This animation, we're just pushing it more. You can see his back is bending a lot more. We're just getting more and more developed. Basically, it gets better and better the more versions you do. So, okay, what happens here? So Mark loves it. Jerome says, oh, we're playing that the web doesn't come straight out of the web shoot. I don't know why he would say that. Mark's like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. And then Randy, this is why you get your 3 Oscars, because he says, well, it's just more organic. And Mark says, oh, okay, that's fine. And then this is the line that every animator, this is what everyone wants to hear, is it's animation approved, okay? That's like your golden, like, yes. And you had to do a shot of tequila and then run back to your desk. And that was really good fun for like the beginning of the show. And then when we were like loads of artists and we were getting sort of 80 shots approved, no one could drive home, so we had to stop doing it. And then what normally, you know, this is quite common, a few weeks later, this goes to the lighting department, it's getting finished, it's getting comped, and you get a few fix requests. So you'll get a phone call and they'll say, you remember that shot you did a while ago? You're like, oh God. And then you've just got to go in. And it's normally things like muscles need a bit of tweaking and stuff like that. So that's like the final shot, right? So I'm not even getting into the cars and the people, you can't even really see the people, but they're there. All these, yeah. So there you go, that's your shot. So this is some of the stats. It's like Rogue One, lots of people died for this information, you know. So that shot's 42 frames long, so it's not even 2 seconds long. That's 72 hours of work, which is about 8 days. So it's 13 versions of that. So it got submitted 13 times. The client saw it 3 times, and that's gonna be a part of your life for 3.5 months, that thing. Wow. So we just watch it in context, all right? So remember, 3.5 months. Okay, great, let's move on.